Good afternoon, and welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to our Direwolf 20 1.10 Let's Play series. So, since last episode, I've done a few things. For one, I did get a Staff of Traveling, and I got an Experience Obelisk, and a Soul Binder, of course, to make that. But I kind of did a bad thing. I set up all of our farms, and we have all these nice farms set up. But honestly, it's more power than I'm creating. So I'm having to like shut it off ever so often, and then I'll let the power build all back up, and then turn it back on. But so basically, this is all just the same setup as our Ender Lily seeds. We have Ender Lily, we got wheat, we've got rice, we have those redstone ores. Whoa. Those have like major multiplied. Okay. By the way, these redstone ores, I know in the the extra utilities book, it said if you feed them stone dust, they can make redstone. No, you just put them down here like this. I just used, instead of getting a silk touch tool, I just used a moving wand to bring redstone. It took a little bit, but with that mine down there, it actually didn't take that long. That's about the only use I have for that mine now with our automatic miner. But I only had, like, I think 3 of those red orchids, and now they've multiplied. So basically, if you set them up just like this, the farming station's going to harvest them, and you're getting automatic redstone. So last I checked, we actually had quite a bit. And then we've got over here, we've got no, that's canola. This is turnips, I believe, from... I do have turnip. Yeah, this is turnips from Biomes of Plenty. And then we've got coffee, and we've got flax, and we've got netherwort. And over here, I can't tell which one's which, but we have potatoes, carrots, and beets all planted. And then over here, I have a nice little system for melons and pumpkins. I've still got to set up maybe cocoa beans and cactus or something like that. Sugarcane's going to have its own separate farm because I do want a bunch of that coming in, because we're going to be making hooch before too long. So I don't want a small setup for that, but like melons and pumpkins, we're not using a ton of those right now. So basically all I've done is I've got pumpkins or melons, the same setup here, and then I've just got auto breakers from actually additions. These don't take any power or anything, and whenever they break something, it goes into their internal inventory, and that's just plugged up to the item conduit line. And it just goes into the ender chest. And by the way, the lighting that I'm using, those are lanterns from actually additions. And then you can just shift right click to turn them on, and they stay on. So that's the lighting that I've got on there, because I like the way it looked and everything. So anyway, we actually have a lot of wood right now. So let me go over here. Let me sleep really quick. Oh, and I do have storage drawers. These aren't upgraded really. They just got void upgrades in them. But let's take a really quick look at the amount of redstone. And this is all just from the farm. So, oh, I actually don't have one for industrial hemp seeds. I'll set one up later. Yeah, we've got over 4 stacks of redstone just from the farm in a very short period of time. And like I said, I only started with like 3 of the red orchids. So they're multiplying like crazy fast. So anyway, this episode, of course, we're wanting to upgrade our power, and we're wanting to use our wood farm for that. Now, funny story, and I want to go ahead and apologize to you guys. I was planning on doing steam for that. And I didn't look. I just assumed that railcraft had its power system in here. But it's totally gone. Like, the railcraft's coke ovens are gone. It's weird because they've still got coal coke, but there's no, like, coke oven at all. Also, like, they've still got their creosote and everything. It's kind of weird. Like, their coal cokes, or their coke ovens are gone. All their power systems are gone. All their engines are gone. So I'm assuming they're going to be coming in a future update. Maybe the next update. So for now, there's really no steam production outside of IC2s. Because I was intending to use the steam boilers and all of that stuff and set up a really nice system, and probably what I was kind of thinking was we might do a big creosote setup with wood and charcoal, or wood going in and producing charcoal and creosote oil, and then running double boilers with that and all that good stuff. But There's no steam system. Of course, there's IC2 steam system, so I considered setting that up this episode for you guys. But the only thing is, you can change that EU into RF. If you use forestries, electric engines, you know, that's not a problem. And if you set them up right, they can actually transfer a lot of power. You do lose efficiency. But you can change over that electrical engine right there. You can change that stuff over. But honestly, the steam turbines on their own don't produce that much EU. Like if you're just straight up using steam turbines. If you use superheated steam, of course, they do produce a bit more. But even still, it's not a ton. So we're going to be going with something else that's still utilizing our wood farm. So the first thing that we're going to want is we're going to want something from IC2. I don't know why I did at, but we're going to want the induction furnace. I love this block. It's absolutely amazing. We're going to need to get an electric furnace and all that good stuff. So give me a second while I get this stuff together. It's all fairly basic. Oh, you know what? We haven't covered the advanced alloy yet. So let's do that. We are going to have to make a compressor for this and get ourselves bronze plates, iron plates, tin plates. Okay, give me a second here. Alright, so let's go ahead. We're going to get our advanced alloy out of the way, and then we're going to have to start working on steel. Fun times. So let's get our basic machine casing, and let's... no, let's not make two just yet. And then get our advanced alloy, which is just like this. I think we can actually get by with just one set. We'll see. And then I've got some coal cooking up, or getting sag milled. So let's go ahead and get a few of these carbon fibers and combine them together to get carbon mesh. And then to get our carbon plates, we just need to run that through the compressor. So this is the next machine that you definitely want. I went ahead and made one of these. And there's my copper cable. I'll set this back to rolling. You're going to need a bunch of these iron plates. So, by the way, our power system is not going to be IC2. We're not fully getting back into IC2 this episode, but we are doing just a bit of it because I do want our induction furnace. So, the next thing that we're going to need is, of course, these steel plates. Anyway, we could go with the blast furnace from Immersive Engineering to get the steel, and that wouldn't be a problem. But I'd rather, I'm going to go ahead and actually set this up. I'd rather go ahead and get into the heat mechanics for IC2 while we're at it, because it won't take but a second to set up some basic heat generation. So let's go ahead and we're going to get ourselves, let me throw this stuff in here. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves a blast furnace from IC2. Which is just a basic machine casing, and then some of these heat conductors. And let me see. I'm actually going to need 2 heat conductors. Alright, so our heat conductors are just like that. Like I said, we're going to want 2 of them. And then we'll go ahead and get some iron item casings. And that's why I've got like a whole stack of iron being ran through this, because I knew as soon as I was looking at that, I was like, yeah, we're going to need like a stack of iron plates, pretty much. And we've got our carbon plates now. Alright, and now we can get our blast furnace. Good stuff. Now, in addition, the blast furnace from IC2, you have to supply that with heat in order for it to run. So, what we're going to do is, let's get a... I guess we'll go ahead and grab ourselves a solid fuel firebox. This is just going to take some iron plates and another one of those iron furnaces. And then we'll get our solid fueled firebox. Now the way this works is it's going to take combustible items and produce heat from it. And the way that we're going to produce our steel is by running anything iron based. We can run just straight up iron and produce steel and slag. We can do iron ore to get steel and slag. Crushed iron ore, purified, or iron sand. So we're just going to use just iron, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab like, I don't know, just like a stack of wood. Or you know what, I guess I could. I wonder why that's there. Huh, I don't know. I'll leave it alone for a minute and see if the farm gets it. But anyway, let's get ourselves just a few stacks of coal here. And then let's go ahead and get ourselves a bit of iron. We're not actually going to use that much, but... so the blast furnace itself doesn't actually require any kind of, like, EU. It just requires heat. And you can actually produce heat with your EU if you want to. There's an option for that. But we're going to connect our heat coils together. So we're just going to set it like this. And we'll throw in... And you'll notice that the heat is starting to rise in this. Now that it's got something. And this is kind of working its way through this coal. It's right now it's at max heat. So it's got to wait till this receives some of that heat before it can burn up more coal. And whenever it burns up coal, it's going to produce ashes as a byproduct. There we go. It just kicked on another piece of coal. And to get the steel, you'll notice that we're going to have to get a pretty decent heat amount on this. So it is going to take just a second to heat up. By the way, these ashes, I don't believe there's any use now. You can just recycle them for scrap if you want to. But other than that, there's no real use for the ashes. Alright, so the blast furnace is now heated up all the way, and you're going to need one thing in addition, and that is universal fluid cells with compressed air in them. So if you throw that in there, you'll notice that it's going to start running through this. And it does take a little while, and we can compress that air back. Now keep in mind, it's honestly, it's a lot cheaper and a lot easier to just do this with... Immersive Engineering, but I figured since we had the IC2 set up already, I figured I'd show it to you guys at least. I'll probably end up setting Immersive Engineering in the long run, but alright, and we just got our first steel ingot, and we got a little bit of this slag as well, which later on we can run this through the thermal centrifuge to get coal dust and tiny piles of gold dust. But let's also set up the Immersive Engineering system for this. And that way we've just got both of them, and that way they're both covered. Like I said, you'll probably, especially early on, you'll probably want to go with the Immersive Engineering one, I would think. But anyway, so we're going to need, I think, 27 for the Immersive. It's like one different on the railcraft and the, I'm still cooking nether bricks. But then we're also going to need an engineer's hammer. So there's that. Haha, hammer. Alright. And then I'm actually going to throw all this stuff back into the system. So for right now, I guess we'll put it in here. Or no, we'll set it over in our little temporary workshop area. So the blast furnace, we'll put it like right here, I think. I want to say the Immersive Engineering one is a solid 3x3. I can't remember. Let's set it like that. Okay, it is a solid 3x3. The railcraft one's the hollow one. There we go. And we got our blast furnace. And then what we can do is we can take either coal coke or charcoal, throw it here in the blast furnace, and start producing steel that way with the Immersive Engineering one. So, and there's ways to speed this up, and then later on we'll get into the arc furnace and stuff with Immersive Engineering. That's honestly probably the best way to make yourself some steel. But anyway, I'm going to let all this stuff run for a minute and hopefully have some steel before too long and we can get started. We've got a little bit there, and then what we'll do is we'll just run it through the metal former and make plates with it. But we're going to need 4 of these, 4 of the steel plates for our induction furnace. So give me just a bit. Alright, so we've got our 4, or we will have our 4 steel plates, and then we can get our induction furnace, and then we just have to decide how we want to power that induction furnace. So now, there we go, advanced machine casing. And then induction furnace. Aha. And this is honestly one of my favorite blocks from IC2. Like, hands down, love this block. Alright, I think what we're going to do now that we've got all of that, I went ahead and snagged our solid fuel firebox that we made earlier, and I made another one as well. We're going to set up our solid fuel fireboxes like right back here. And then we're going to go ahead and just bring out some item conduits here. Let's say extract. I went ahead and got some charcoal. I set the system up just to test it. How I wanted to lay it out and everything, and it works. I want to make sure the item conduits and all that good stuff works. So we did make a bit of coal, so I've already got some. But we're going to go ahead and we're just going to pump charcoal into these. And I'm going to go ahead and we'll set it to round robin. I mean, it's going to end up filling up. It's not really going to matter, but and then we'll take some Stirling generators. And let's just put them down right here. And the reason I'm using these is because they're actually more power efficient on coal and stuff than a standard IC2 generator would be. And anyway, these are going to start producing power. And it will take 2 of these to run an induction furnace at full speed. So just a heads up. But then we're going to put our induction furnace down like right here. That's fine. And let's go ahead and just bring some insulated cable like that. And I'll go ahead and go under the ground there. And we're going to put a lever on that just so that it'll start heating up and stay heated up. And we should see the heat rise to 1%. There we go. Everything's good. Let me go sleep actually, because otherwise I might have creepers blowing me up. Alright, and then we'll just bring our wood out, and let's say, we're going to say extract on brown, always active, and we'll just bring it over to here. And I want you to insert on brown. Oh, does that work from the side? I just realized I didn't want it to insert there. I want it to insert here. I mean, I guess if the side works, nah. I don't know. I don't think the side actually works. Okay. But we're going to say extract on blue. And we'll go ahead and, yeah, we'll go ahead and link that up together. And that's running now. It's going to speed up as the heat builds up in this. So that'll be good. Let me go ahead and disable that. We're going to say insert on blue. Keep in mind all this stuff's going to get moved down the road once I have the infrastructure to move it. Mainly like AE and stuff. Okay, these are filling up with power. It's draining on that one, but that's fine because, I mean, this one's just about filled. So it's kind of imbalanced a little bit. And that's producing charcoal for us, which is wonderful. It is going to take that a minute to speed up to full heat. So we'll check it out again in just a second. But the next thing that we're going to want is a way to utilize all this charcoal that we're producing. Because honestly, I mean, this tree farm, we got tons of wood coming in. And like I said, we're going to use that oak for a biofuel later on as well. Maybe the apples too, I don't know. We'll see. It'll just be massive power from this. But the next thing that we're going to need is we're going to need a way to actually use this charcoal to produce power. And the best way to do that, until there's steam in the pack anyway. Right now it's really like with wood, it's really just like make charcoal, cook it kind of thing. But we're going to go with the Draconic Evolution generator. So it just takes some nether bricks, iron, a furnace, and then one of these draconic cores. I mean, I guess they're a little bit expensive, but we have a quarry already. Draconium's not that bad to get. We've got 42. That's fine. We'll be able to set up 10 generators with that. I'll be happy with it. Alright, so we should have everything that we need. Let's go ahead and get some of these draconic cores. And, oh yeah, we're going to need iron, right? Let's get that. And we'll go ahead and start off with 4 generators. Now the nice thing about these generators, aside from these, any coal-based generator pretty much caps out. I think RF Tools is the second strongest generator. It produces, I think, 50 RF per tick, unless you infuse it, and then it produces, I think, like around 70 or 80 or something like that. It's nothing to write home about. However, the Draconic Evolution generator produces like 160 something per tick. So very, very powerful for just a coal-based generator. So I think for right now, like I said, keep in mind all this stuff's going to be moved probably by next episode. We'll see. Because I'm kind of waiting to get AE in place before I go too crazy with this stuff. But I think we're just going to set it up like right down here for now, because this plugs into like my main power line. These enhanced energy conduits are the strongest power lines I have ran, and my farms are really what's pulling the most power right now, because I have farms for like everything. So let's go ahead. We're just going to bring some item conduits down. We'll say extract. And we're just going to plug this in like this. Set up our generators here. And tell it to insert. And you'll notice that this is cooking through the charcoal. And it does cook through it at a fairly decent rate, but it does produce an absolutely astronomical amount of RF for you know, just a coal-based generator. Because just having, say, 4 of these, we're going to be setting like almost 800 RF a tick just from these. Plus, we've got quite a bit with our lava setup, and I can actually expand that lava setup by quite a bit. So we'll throw that on there, throw that on there. All of these are producing, and let me pop on over and see what it's doing to our storage. I need to overhaul this because we have a lot of basic capacitors that I don't really care for. I mean, you'll notice that it's probably filling up farms right now. Either that or that power's going somewhere. Oh yeah, it's probably filling up farms. I think I was pretty well drained when that happened, because you'll notice that like some of that canola is not being farmed, and so that's probably what it's doing right now. Alright, this induction furnace is at 100% now, so you'll notice that, I mean, it's kicking out a lot of coal. A lot of charcoal, which is what we're going to need. We're going to need a really high charcoal production. But we are coming out very positive right now with just the 4 generators, so let's go ahead and bump that up a little bit. Alright, this barrel is actually almost filled up with charcoal now. So, if we take a look down here, I did expand this out. We've got 10 of these now, of these Draconic Evolution generators. And let's take a look at the power input. We've got about 2,000. Well, it does tip off sometimes. That's when the farms start to run, like a bunch of them. Well, we got about 2,000 RF a tick coming in, which is not bad. With the amount of coal that we're producing and wood that we're producing and stuff, I could expand that system quite a bit without any real trouble. You know, these are all keeping up. Well, that one's tapped out, but this one stays full. So, you know, but that whole system's keeping up. So, good stuff. And as far as coal and wood and stuff goes, we're coming out positive. I mean, this has dropped a couple stacks, but that's just because it's been, you know, mass producing charcoal. But now it's just about to cap out here in a minute. Then the buffer in this induction furnace will fill up, and so on. So that's going to slow down. Our wood production will be positive, and this stuff, I mean, that induction furnace could probably run about 20 plus on these generators. So I may try to farm up some more draconium and expand that system. However, like I said, my original intention was to do steam power with a railcraft, but since it's not here, we couldn't do that. So what I may do is continue expanding the power system. There are some new power setups that we could use. It would actually be a bit of fun, like canola oil is one. That's very, very fun to set up. Also, Deep Resonance is another really, really fun mod to play with. So if you guys are interested in either of those, do let me know. I don't mind setting them up. I'm sorry the Steam thing didn't work out. I just totally... Since I knew Railcraft was in the pack, so I just assumed, oh, okay, we'll just go Steam and, do something with Railcraft or whatever. And didn't even think to look to see if the Steam boiler was on there. Because if you look up Steam, there's the Railcraft Steam. So I thought, well, okay, it's there. No biggie. But then when I went to make the Steam boiler today, I was like, hey, wait a second. The only Steam boiler is the IC2 one. So, okay, what's going on? So, anyways, I do apologize about that. But this Draconic Evolution, though, is quite a bit of power once we keep expanding it. Because, like I said, this setup should be able to support probably at least 20 of these generators. So you're talking double what we've got right now. You're talking close to 5,000 RF a tick. Positive on what we've got right now. So I think that's enough power to get started with. But like I said, if you guys want to see Deep Resonance in the near future or canola oil setups, do let me know, and I'll be more than happy to set those up for you guys. But anyway, I am going to end out this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry about the slight change of plans there, but I hope you guys found this helpful. And I have a bit of Draconium to go farm myself. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed it, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already for more daily videos. And until next time, as always, do take care, and I hope to see you guys then.